As we move closer to the Democratic and Republican conventions next month, the candidates are getting serious about running mates. Before Donald Trump left Scotland yesterday, CNN's Jim Acosta asked him how his VP search was going.
It's coming along good. I have a lot of people that want it. I will tell you one thing, I'm getting calls from a lot of people, and they want it. The only people that say they don't want it are the people that were never asked.
Hillary Clinton also narrowing down her list. So let's bring in our political panel. I'm joined by Republican delegate Ashley Bell in Atlanta and Democratic strategist Theron Johnson via Skype. Thanks for being with us, gentlemen. It's good to have you.
Good to be with you.
Let's start with some predictions. The VP list. Theron, you go ahead. Who do you think is going to be on Hillary Clinton's short list?
Listen, I think this is a very tough decision for Hillary Clinton. I think she has two choices. I mean, she can pick someone who can really motivate sort of the more liberal left wing of our party, or she can pick someone who actually is more of a centrist, who can appeal to independent voters and sort of millennials. And so I think that this is a long vetting process for her. I definitely think it needs to be someone who can actually motivate people of color. We all know how this country is changing every single day. And so, you know, it's very interesting.
Do you have a name you want to throw out there?
Well, I think there's been a lot of names that's been floated out. I mean, listen, Secretary Castro is definitely still at the top of the list. I'm hearing a lot of talks about Tim Kaine from Virginia as well. And I'm also hearing a lot of talks about Labor Commissioner Perez. And so if you notice the common thread, now listen, we would all love a Elizabeth Warren to join Hillary Clinton. I mean, that would be very historic, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
An all-female ticket. Ashley, to you, Donald Trump, is he going to need someone that's an establishment candidate?
Well, first I want to say that Theron left out Bernie Sanders.
I know, I was noticing that as well.
That is our biggest fear as Republican Party is Bernie Sanders on that ticket because he has a motivated base. He has very strong followers. So I hope Theron's list is okay. As far as Trump's list is concerned, I'm going to tell you, nobody knows what Donald Trump's going to do but Donald Trump. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Donald Trump pick a Democrat if he was somebody that was moderate enough. He's all out of the box. There's no one who can really fix any of the problems Donald Trump has. He's too big a personality. So I think the base, many of us are just sitting back looking and ready to be amazed.
Well, maybe she's not going to pick Bernie Sanders, but the Democratic Party certainly listening to him. The new draft of the party platform certainly has tones from his campaign. Theron, do you think that that'll be effective?
Listen, Lynn, I've said on this show many, many times, listen, I felt the burn and a lot of millions of voters are feeling the burn. Bernie Sanders is going to be at the table. I just don't think that he would actually himself agree to be a vice presidential candidate at a time when he ran for president. But listen, what's happening all over the country right now is that you're seeing the Clinton supporters that are bracing Bernie Sanders supporters. And I think Bernie ultimately is going to do the right thing. So he plays a very viable role in making sure that Hillary Clinton wins in November.
Well, and Ashley, the GOP talking points would be some of these party platform points really aren't achievable. Say the $15 minimum wage. Do you think that's going to be something that Trump hits hard on?
I don't know, because Donald Trump may be in support of a $15 minimum wage. I'm not sure. He's going back and forth on it. But I can tell you this, the Republican Party in Cleveland, and I'm a delegate, we would never vote for a $15 minimum wage. It just doesn't make sense for our party. A $15 as a living wage in Mississippi is totally different than a $15 minimum wage in New York. We think that should be decided at the state level if people are going to deviate from the federal minimum wage.
I want to get your reaction real quick about the Supreme Court blocking President Obama's immigration plan. Theron, to you first.
Well, listen, I think it was a very sad day in our country. I mean, at a time where, listen, the only thing that President Obama was trying to do is give these millions and millions of immigrants an opportunity to forge a better life for themselves. Now, let's also point out that actually the Supreme Court actually was a 4-4 tie. Now, can you imagine, Lynn, that had the U.S. Senate, Republican-led U.S. Senate, done their job, we would have had Judge Garland, who's right now.
Keep in mind that his nomination has been held up in the Senate. Ashley, your reaction to the ruling?
Look, the ruling was unfortunate for many Americans, but at the end of the day, Congress is going to have to make the decision. Republicans are for a decision, but it's going to take securing the border first before we touch immigration.
Ashley Bell, Theron Johnson, always great to have you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good weekend.